Hey, all right, so here it is, finally done. It's the massive baseball stadium for my minifigures. I thought I'd do a nice little overview video here of it because it is really cool and unique and different. Couple stories to tell you why I ended up with this. So, way on back in 2003, my mom's like, hey, let's go see all the baseball stadiums. Me being originally from St. Louis, had only been to the Cardinal Stadium. And so we took a trip up to Detroit, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. And so, saw a game in each of those cities. And then for a long time, nothing happened. Fast forward to where I, graduated, got a real job out in the world, and needed places to go on vacations. And I'm like, hey, why don't I continue on and try to see all 30 MLB baseball stadiums? And I did it right, too. I saved the Yankees and Boston Red Sox to the very end. And that's what I had just done. And I even saw, so I flew to New York, saw a Yankees game, and then took the train up to Boston and saw the Yankees play Boston at Fenway for the grand finale. And so there it is. I've been to all 30 MLB baseball stadiums now. I can say I done it, even though the A's are getting a new stadium right around the corner, as well as the Tampa Bay Rays, which are my favorite team. Ironically, somehow. I'm from St. Louis. I'm not from Tampa, but there it is. No matter, they're getting new stadiums soon, so I'll have to go see those at some point. But for the time being, I've done all 30 MLB stadiums. And so to commemorate that grand journey that has taken 2 decades to complete, here it is. This is a baseball stadium Lego, a minifigure scale, to commemorate that journey, which is pretty awesome. Pretty cool for sure. I really like how this turned out. It was a heck of a lot bigger than I had thought. When I ordered it, I could have sworn these are all modularly based. So you can see this is a 32 by 32 plate. There's 9 of them here. I thought it was going to be 4 by 4 of these. So it would have been like this size, and that was a pretty good size there. But it came and it was 9 by 9, or nine 32 by 32 plates, and I'm like, oh my god, this is massive. I didn't even know where I was gonna put the 4 by 4 sized one if it came like that. But then this came, and I was like, my god, what am I getting myself into? Where am I even gonna put this? I had no idea at the time. So I kind of figured it out. Hey, I'm going to get a table for it, which is what this is here. Table is actually really nice. The legs fold up and everything, so it's very easy to move. It's got a real nice finish to it, and it fits perfectly on the stadium. For the time being, I'm going to have it in this room, and it's normally going to be shoved against the wall over here on this side. But for the purposes of looking this over for this video, I kind of pulled it up a little bit. But it's perfect. It's a perfect fit. It looks fantastic. Yeah, so there it is. So part 2 to the stories is I needed a place. Well, I've never had collected minifigures before, mainly because I didn't have a spot for them. Shortly before I even got this thing, I did end up with this thing over here. If you can tell what it is, it's like a display case that has like steps for the minifigures. I had all my old school ones from when I was a kid in there, because I took them all from my parents' basement when I went home a couple summers ago. But there was no place to expand, because like all my old ones fit that, and then I'm like, well, if I'm ever going to collect new ones, where are they going to go? And then I stumbled across this design for a baseball stadium, and it was twofold to me. It was like, hey, I can get this to commemorate the baseball stadium trip and have a place for all my minifigs, which I started to buy now that I knew I had this thing. Almost all of these are real Legos. Like, these are all the old ones that I had from when I was a kid. The medieval ones, although these 2 guys right here I recently got, and they kind of fit the theme. So you'll notice like different sections have different themes going. Like up here you have, these actually aren't Legos, these are the third-party ones, but I thought it was too funny to pass up. So you'll see Ronald McDonald and his co-partner, one and only Colonel Sanders. The Thieves are Legos. Those are two newer ones that I got. Gamer Girl section up here, it's also a new one. New, all those are new, really. But then you get to like these scientists. Most of those are from when I was a youth, as well as these scuba diver people over here. The racers, they're old school too, from when I was a kid. These mascots are knockoffs, or the third-party ones, not Legos. But I thought they were too cool not to get. Really funny. Oh yeah, so if you notice who's playing in the field, it's the Pirates, LOL. There is one real Lego baseball player. I thought about buying all these at first and like filling it up with real Lego like baseball people, but there's only like 2 designs that I could find out there. And so I didn't want the same people out in the field, if you will. So then I thought, hey, wait a minute, I have these pirate ones from when I was a kid. I'm gonna fill it up with the Pirates. So I did. Plus Ash Ketchum throwing a Pokeball as the pitcher, which is absolutely hilarious. And then of course you got Coach Pikachu over here calling the shots with his friend the Shark as the bench coach, I guess. Who are they playing? Well, there's a hint right there at the first base coach. And I put Harley Quinn down as the batter because she comes with a baseball bat. But it's DC. So Pirates versus DC. I thought it was a funny, hilarious touch right there too. You'll notice like over here, I put Mr. Fancy Pants right there in the primo seating section, as well as some other people around. You got this like James Bond guy in the back as well. Of course, he's gonna have a primo seat. If I keep circling around here, to random people. Here's the ninja section, which I thought was funny. You got some Harry Potters in there as well. This is super old, from like early 90s, I think. I have no idea what set this was from, but I've had her forever, which I always thought was weird because in the early 90s there weren't many girl minifigures. But I've had this like since I was like a super young kid, so I don't know where it came from. But I've just had it forever. I have no idea what set that's from. If you know, maybe you can put it in the comments because I'd like to know without doing too much of my own research. Up here we got some Star Wars people. I kind of stuck them here along with some space folks. And then the old school Steven Spielberg and his crew from the original Lego, what was it called? Lego Movie Maker. God, that was super old. I had that on my like Windows 98 computer. It had a webcam. That was some of the first stop motion I've ever done, because they kind of teach you how to do stop motion in the 90s. And that's pretty much the inspiration for why this channel exists, quite frankly. And these are some of the minifigures from that original set, which was incredibly innovative for its time. And I think they've redone it since then with like the Lego Movie people, if I saw right. But having a webcam that you didn't have to use it with this program. Like it was a legit webcam that could be used for anything, but it was like a Lego themed webcam. It was really cool. And of course you got like a movie set with it too that you can build up and do. I wish I'd still have those stop motion videos that I did early on, because they were incredible if you go back and look at them. But sadly, I don't think I do, because there's nowhere to transfer them off from a Windows 98 computer. Who knows where that computer even is? It could be buried somewhere in my parents' basement. Now that I think about it, I'll have to see if I can dig those out. Anyway, rant aside, moving on, I did put in a Game of Thrones seat up here, which I thought was like the perfect touch to the backdrop of the centerpiece that is, the baseball stadium. How could you not? I don't even like Game of Thrones. I saw it all, but I'm not the biggest fan. But I like the chair. The chair is cool and unique and different. People do like the chair, and I thought with this guy who didn't come with the chair, I added him later. I thought it was too funny not to just slap that in there as a cool little thing. Like I said, I'm a big Rays fan. For some reason, this spoke to me and slapped this little guy together with a Ray, again, from the old school. In fact, I think he's from this set, which I, again, dug out of my parents' basement. No, I only see a shark. This is a really old one. I only have like 70-80% of the pieces. I'm trying to find them all. And when I do, I'll be able to complete the set. This was one of my favorite ones from a kid. And so I still have the book, I still have the base plate. That's the big stuff you need. And then it's just a matter of building that submarine together. Back to this, because this is why you're here, I guess. More people in the sections. You got a guy with 2 knives here, and that's pretty great.
I gotta tell you, this is pretty terrific. Yeah.
Got Koala Man, who came from one of those blind box series. The scary section with an Elvira and Wednesday, which sadly those two are not real Legos. Those are a third party, but the ghost is real, and he's from, I believe, that scary train set that I had back in the day. Which was one of my favorite set pieces. Although now that I look at it from today's viewpoint, it looks really, really bland and not as cool as I thought or I had remembered it to be. But I remember really liked it when I was growing up, for sure. So, stadium specs. This has 7,300 pieces to its name. It's not my design. Somebody else designed the stadium. I just built it. However, I did add my own little quirks and upgrades, if you will. So the original seating capacity was 400 seats. But what I ended up doing, which looked way better, is offsetting all the seats. So you can see they're like not straight in a row. Because the original, if you look at the book, has them all straight. So I think, yeah, back in the outfield over here, this is how all the seats looks when you're supposed to build it, quote unquote. But it just looks silly with all the seats straight up. I felt like it's a much more realistic, dynamic look by offsetting everything. And so I did for all the sections. For some reason, I left this one random center outfield section original. I don't know why. Maybe I just missed it. But by doing that, you do lose a seat every other row. So like this guy, if I come back up here, like you lose, right? Like because there's not enough studs to put that extra seat in there somewhere. So the seating capacity is a little bit removed and limited from the original 400, but no matter, I can always go back to that if I need to. For right now, this looks way better like this. So that's one of the changes I made, as well as, so over here you have this Run Home Jack sign on the big Jumbotron outside, and I also put a little seat up here for the good doctor or whatever he's supposed to be from one of the old Johnny Quest sets back in the day. But that home run jack is a nice touch I did. So what I ended up doing is buying more pieces and designed this myself. It slides out here. So really you can change it to be whatever you want, but I came up with this design. It's just a flat piece with some side pieces to keep it straight. This is what it looked like per the book. I did extend this down a stud, or one or two little plates to make this fit, because otherwise I'm like, I remember being off from being able to do an even amount of letters between 3 rows, and it took me a while to figure out, okay, what am I gonna do, because I wanted to do something, and I thought Run Home Jack from Hook was the perfect touch for doing this, and it just completes the set so much more to have something in the Jumbotron versus a blank box of nothingness. So like I said, that was a cool little touch for me. And then the lights. So I added the lights myself. LEDs up in there. I connected it to Alexa, so I could say, Alexa, turn off the stadium.
Okay.
And you can see not as cool or dynamic with the lights off. The lights are definitely what makes it, for sure. You get a lot of nice shadows and dynamic viewpoints from it. So I'm gonna say, Alexa, turn on the stadium.
Okay.
And in fact, I'm gonna turn all the lights off so you can get the full effect at night, which is super, super cool. Yeah, the LEDs are a must. So the stadium lights, like the boxes were here. That's part of the set, but it was just these clear crystal ones, and so I took, this is a double loop, so it's basically one LED strip with 2 lights on it. I bought 2 of those, and then over here for the big lights, I bought a 6-pack, where it's just 1 loop. And let me turn the lights some more so you can see how I ended up doing this. So this is like a 6, it's 1 big string, and then there's 6 lights on it. And then what I did is on the back, if you can see, I looped back all the extra wires between all the lights around here, and then loop back, and then loop back, and loop back, and loop back, until you have a huge, nice looking LED board. And from my vantage point, I'm about here, where my eyes are. So you're not blinded by the light, because they're pretty bright when you pop it up. So I kind of lower it down a little bit, so you're not so blinded. And then it all connects. You can see the wire. There's a wire here, comes around. Cool little clock on the back side here too, and it connects right here. Right now I just have it kind of sitting here, but I might redo it where I push it through these windows and then out the doors or something like that, so it's not all exposed. And then it connects all to a USB port that's connected to an Alexa thing. So on the other side, same thing here. The wires come down, they collect here together, and then I put them through the back of the seatings. And then I took out one little brick thing here and then put the wire down, and that connects back to the back. I might change it so that this wire kind of goes in under the seats in this building here, and then through here, and then maybe out these doors or out one of the windows on the side here, if I really want to hide the wire coming out the side. So that's a future update potentially of hiding the wires, but for what it is, like, unless I pointed that out, you probably won't recognize it at all. One other change I did was these outfield seats. They were really low. Like, if I come around the side here, these outfield seats were basically on the ground from where they are now, so you can see how the height difference. I raised them up because it just looks stupid with these seats all the way at the bottom here. You can see what the original designer tried to do. These are like windows for the seats, and I'm like, that just looks stupid. So I'm gonna raise all the outfield seats, which I did, and it looks so much better this way. So yeah, that was a nice little touch as well. Like I said, it seats 400 minus a little bit because I offsetted some, but I can't expand. Like, there's clearly room for like another deck in the outfield if I need to. Or even back here, I can take out the Game of Thrones seat and expand, up. So if I ever run out of 400 like minifigures, I can always, add more, if you will. All of these sections are modular. I don't know if you can tell that from the video, but like, you can pop this off pretty easily like that. Take him away. Get to this guy, pop him up too, like so. Comes away, and if you saw the time lapse, there are little shops, and like, this is a locker room. I don't know if I want to get to the shops. Let me see if I can get it on camera here. It's not coming through as well, but there are little shops in the corridors. You'll see it on the time lapse. When it's being built. But that's nice that it's all modular. And like I said, even these sections are all different pieces. There are little dots to put the holes in so that you can, collapse it all together and make it nice and snug. I didn't do that because it would just be a pain to move around if I ever need to. And, why do I need to connect them all up? So I didn't. And, so I didn't go through the full outfield people. So over on the side here, you got a Ninja Turtle. You got some random dudes in the stands. Over here, you got like the outfield bros. Some more people. And of course, I told you about this little guy up here in the primo seat. I had this seat first before I added the Game of Thrones. And then I thought, hey, Game of Thrones is going to be even more primo. And then a monkey climbing the pole. I thought it was a nice touch to finish it all off. So yeah, here it is. Looking great, looking good. I love this thing. This is so great, so unique, and it's an amazing display for, like I said, all the minifigs. And the more it fills in, the better it's gonna look, I think. For sure, obviously. I love all the little stories. I like the little different sections. It looks fantastic. So as they say in Back to the Future, if you're gonna build a minifigure display, why not do it with some style? So that's what this is, and it looks so awesome. It's way bigger than I had thought when I first, put it together. But it works. It works well. It's massive, but I love it so much. It's super cool, and it's just gonna get better over time as I continue to add in new pieces, new minifigs, expand, customize, and whatnot. If you ever do something like this, add the lights. It just makes it look so much better, so much cooler. You're gonna love it for sure. And it's so great. It just is so great. So, all right, this video is getting kind of long, so I'm gonna cut it here. But that's a nice little overview of what this is. And hopefully you've enjoyed it and inspired to do something something similar to your own. If you have a cool, epic minifig display, I'd like to see it, because who knows, maybe 400 won't be enough and I'll need something else at some point in the future. But for right now, this is my thing, and this is great, and it looks amazing. And yeah, I'm gonna call it there. And see about visiting those last 2 MLB stadiums once they're built.